Can't wait to meet you on your mat, ladies. I wanted to share something. Head on back to your mats. We're going to start in any seated position that's comfy, even if you have yourself propped up on a block, a blanket, something to be really comfy, but that you can sway a little bit. And I love my cards. You guys know I love these cards. Power Thought Cards by Louise Hay. Today's intention, if you'd like to use this, is I am flexible and flowing. So that may come in handy to remind yourself if you're feeling a little stuck in a posture. I am open to new and changing. Every moment presents a wonderful new opportunity to become more of who I am. I flow with life easily and effortlessly. I just think that's beautiful. So I'll remind you of that one at the end. But I'll meet you on your mats when you're ready in your comfortable seat. All right, how do you feel? If there's things that are underneath of you, make sure all the wrinkles are out. Let's move our buns to make sure our sits bones are grounded into your prop or your floor. And then softly bring our hands wherever they're really comfortable. Taking a moment to just check in right now. See how we're feeling. Notice your breath. The most important component of our yoga practice. Finding breath, being aware of how it's moving, how it feels, how it can enhance every move we make. Let's take 3 big, beautiful breaths in together through our noses, and then exhalations like a sigh. Feel free to sigh because you're all on mute, so I can't hear you. Breathing in, and then a big just letting go of whatever you can. Breathing in again, maybe a little deeper. Sip in an extra bit at the top. Retain if possible. Hold your ribs really wide and open, and then a big like a whoosh, just letting go. One more time, just like that, my friends. Try an extra sip. Soften your facial muscles, retain your breath. Let go softly and easily. Making a bit of movements with our upper bodies, inviting some motion into our low backs, into our bellies, awakening our digestive systems. I love these big circles. They're called Sufi grinds if you have ever done Kundalini yoga. But when we do these, we want to make sure our sits bones are really grounded so we're finding length on every roll around the corner. And if that feels good, let your neck get a little heavy and roll around to one shoulder. Roll around to another. If you're having a difficult time as you roll, keeping your sits bones on the ground, we can prop them up with a little blanket or a thin pillow. Now slow down your next circle and reach up with whatever arm feels good. Reaching, releasing, and swaying to the other side. Reach. Release. If shoulders are a little cranky in the morning, just do a little one, like you're brushing your forehead with the back of your hand. Make it bigger if it feels pretty good. Sweep forward, sweep up and back, rooting down through sits bones. And then find that big breath again, my friends. In we go. Maybe a little pause or a tension at the top, a little swing around a tight troubling spot. Love that. Let your breath guide all of your movements this morning. Let's try one more big swing each way. All right, here comes the good stuff. Whatever arm is reaching up, bring it back behind you and turn your fingertips away from your toes. Peeling open your collarbones, your throat, your shoulders. Everything feels expansive. And as you're breathing, re-notice your breath. Where are we feeling it? Maybe after a little practice, we feel a little bit lower. Rising, falling in our necks. Expansion, contraction in our bellies. Right hand walks over to the side. Left hand walks over to the right side. And then we're twisting a little bit towards our left knees. If you're able to reach your right hand over to the left knee, see if that helps you twist. We're light on our fingertips all through class today, really using strong core muscles to lift us up. Take your back arm, cross it over your right, hold opposite knees, or whatever you have a hold of, and start to tuck your chin round into an angry cat. Inhale, pull forward like a cow, navel forward, top of head and tailbone a little bit back. Reach arms to sky, big breath in. Arms fall behind us, re-lift like a big helium balloon inflated under your collarbones. Left hand walks left, right hand walks left, big twist. Chest moving over right knee, and then eyes up to open, creating space and breathing into it, filling it up. I like to envision those deep breaths bringing lightness in where things are a little tight and dark. Left arm reaches towards your right leg. It's okay if we can't get it. We can hold our left knees, our right shins, press on the mat. Anything that helps you get a little longer and a little more rotated over to the right side. Next breath in, reach your right arm across the left, and let's start that tiny cat-cow. Beginning with a big expansion through the upper back, round. Blow out all the air you have. Really get rid and expel all that stale, stagnant air. Inhale, rise and shine. Chest up, belly forward. Tough here, isn't it? Pull tailbone and top of head back. Once more like that. Roll all the way up. Reach arms to sky. Big breath in, lifting from back ribs as much as front. So we're not poking our bellies out. We're really staying long in our torsos today. Top arms float down all the way forward and then reach as far as you can. If you had any props under your buns, soft things, you might want to move them under your belly. That feels like a warm hug. Love that. And your digestive organs love it. Your lower back loves it. When we push into belly, really support it for the lower back. Think about an ice cream scooper and take your navel in towards your spine. When you've gotten as long as you can, big breath to sip in extra and then float your body down. Think about draping yourself over your props or your thighs. If we need a little bit extra support today, we can bring our arms to our legs and fold forward here. Dropping chin to chest, telling your nervous system it's time to let go and surrender into our postures. And even as we're rounded here, we're breathing slowly, deeply, softly expanding. Rising from wherever we were, and however it's easy to get into tabletop, I'm gonna lean back, give my toes a little wiggle and swish side to side. If they got a bit tingly and sleepy down there, give them some movement. Around into tabletop whenever it feels right to you. And we're gonna do a whole bunch of silly stuff in the beginning just to wake ourselves up here. If your knees are cranky, cushion them. Otherwise, take your hips to the left and your hips to the right with your navel. Ice cream scoop your belly out, navel up and in. So I wanna think about a puppy, like a slow puppy wag here. Stretching out through our side bodies. Take a couple more swings. It doesn't have to be slow, it doesn't have to be fast. Find a rhythm that feels great. Keep your hips cocked over to the left side and swing your toes all the way over to the left. If you can, walk hands a bit to the left, rounding out the right side body. And then look wherever your neck feels really long. One more big breath in. As we come back to normal, lift both toes off the mat in tabletop. Once the toes are hovered, spin them out to either side. So it's like a wide V you're making with your legs, and I should feel side body, outer thigh, outer hip kick on. I'm gonna show you from the back in case you're wondering what we're doing here. We lifted our toes, took them out to the sides. Stay strong in your belly, long in your torso. Release toes back down. Give yourself a slight swish side to side. When your hips are cocked to the right, keep them there. Take your toes on over to the right. Hands as much as they can go. And eye gaze towards your right pinky. Now lift your belly, lengthen your side bodies, even the crunchy right one, and really open into your left rib cage. Use your breath like a comb to slide over each rib and comb away any tension. right on back into the center. Readjust here and then take backs of one hand or two down. Fingers can turn inwards or back towards knees, anything that feels good, to roll over the back of that hand and give you a little massage. Now, if we sit our hips back, it gets a little easier, right? If we guide forward, we get more weight into the wrist and it can get a bit tougher. So you choose where you like, just rolling around, waking up wrists. Try to flare all 5 fingers on each hand open. And if you just had one, switch that around. Soft on your wrists as you make adjustments. All right, my friends, not a really super fun one, but a great one to get our wrists in order here. Softly flip palms back down. And then you're taking the backs of your hands again, make fists, interlace your knuckles, and put the back of them onto your mats, please. Feels like you lost all control, right? Try to make a fist again. Try to wrap your thumbs around the rest of your fingers and feel the tendons in your wrists lighting up. Back is a little less intense, forward more intense. Just some tiny push-ups here. Bend elbows and rise. Now try to really keep your thumb on. I know that's hard. Keep your fingernails pushing in towards your palms. Everything is the same. We stay at the top. We're gonna keep our knuckles together and then bend but roll the knuckles open. So I'm taking my hands and I'm rolling knuckles open towards the ceiling. Bend in, roll open, release, interlace knuckles again. Bend in, roll open. That's hard, isn't it? Just 2 more. If it feels like a walk in the park, come forward a little bit. Make it more intense. Give me all you got on this last one. Super. Slowly unflip. Come to kneeling. Toes pose if you can. All your toes tucked under. And if not, cushioning under knees or cushioning between heels and buns. Take hands. Notice what thumb is on top. That's your habitual one. And just roll side to side like a figure 8. Nice. Keep rolling your wrists. Start to rise up, hips off of the heels. Lift up as tall as you can and then lean back just a tiny bit. Feel your quads engage. Stay here. Slow your roll. Switch your thumbs and interlace all the other knuckles the opposite way, the weird way, and then try to roll the opposite way in figure 8. That's a brain buster, and it goes really slow, doesn't it? We're getting a brain workout today too. Lift up again through your camel, a baby camel, and tip back just a little. Feel length coming into your thighs. Last big breath in here. All right, come on down, my friends. Rebrace belly, back into tabletop, tuck all 10 toes, and try to hover right shin, replace. Left shin, replace. So we're thinking about engaging belly here. Draw up and in like a crunch, in, and then soft control to release. Up and in. Continue with that, or hover both knees and squeeze your belly in. Press the floor away. My back went from flat to rounded like an angry cat. Saying good morning to our abdominal muscles. We will definitely use those through class today. 3 more breaths, whether you're lifting alternating knees or holding strong and hovering tabletop. Lengthen out your side bodies. We tend to go into a turtle shell here sometimes. Lengthen out, but still push palms away. Grip with fingertips, waking up the wrists. I need to wake up my mouth. And release, guys. Well done. Child's pose. Reach fingertips forward. And then reach again like you're clawing at your mat to get more length out of your side bodies. When it feels really good, sink in. Third eye, middle of forehead to your mat. If you make contact with your mat and there's room between your elbows, roll side to side a little bit. Give your forehead a little massage. One more big breath in regular extended child. And then we're threading left arm under the right with palm down. So again, walk. Claw up the mat to walk out. Left side of face rests on a pillow or a blanket or the floor. And then right arm wraps around low back. So we have a thread the needle, child's pose. With your right forearm, push into your low back and down. Feel your right shoulder. And then always play, my friends, with your alignment. So whether you like your left palm up or down, see how both feel and make the best decision for right here and right now. If something feels really wonderful today and you'd like to linger and marinate in your pose, please do. Otherwise, rewind, right arm comes out to extension, left arm on threads. We pull back in child, and then start the whole process on the other side. Right arm threads under. Walk out like a little spider as far as you can. Get a little pillow or something for comfort under your right side of face. Left arm wraps around low back, but push your forearm down into back and then low towards sits bones. Just experimenting with our right palms up or down. See what serves our shoulder stretch the best today. One more big breath in. Unwinding for some more core warm up. Reach out. Unthread the needle. Pull back. Lots of stretch. And shift back into tabletop. We'll start a bit less intense, and I'll give you an option in a moment. I like to tuck my toes so it stretches bottoms of feet. Let's take left knee to left elbow and hover. Left knee to nose and hover. Left knee, right elbow and hover. Okay, put it right back down. Same thing with the right leg. Right elbow, hover. So we're still staying engaged as we hover. Nose, hover. Left elbow. Now don't crash down. Find control here. Hover, then replace it down. We can do this with our toes tucked in hovering tabletop. Left knee, left elbow, nose, right elbow. Same thing, right side. Elbow, nose, and opposite side. We can also go one more round in plank if we want. So for a special someone, we're making our way into our cheetahs. Left knee, my friends, crunch to the left elbow. Hover, nose, hover, right side. Slow down as much as you need to. Never required to add on. We can stay with option one the whole time. Right knee, big crunch. Again. Last one. Come back to wherever you were with both sets of feet down. Both feet down, not one set, two. Push back, guys. Downward facing dog. I apparently say a lot of funny things first thing in the morning these days. If anyone has two sets of feet, congrats. Let's wiggle side to side and get out all of our stiffness in our first downward facing dog. Think of that puppy dog wag, like a really slow push side to side. Alternating a pedal through our heels, knees bend, heels push. If this is giving anyone wrist trouble, we can drop to knees and roll the edge of our mats up as much as it feels really good to cushion up the bottom of our palm here, like the heel of our hand, for some extra support. Bending deeply into knees in your dog to lengthen your spine as much as possible. And let's take one more big breath in and out to find our way, whether it's in stillness or a little fidget here and there. Eyes look forward, both heels rise, and the slowest tiptoe walk in. Thinking about pulling thigh bones up into hip socket, belly in as you walk. Grabbing any accessories that would enhance your practice today, whether they're books, blocks, or pillows. And then from your forward fold, let's rise right up to the sky, anywhere that feels great, deeply bending knees. Inhaling, arms rise, extended mountain pose, and then sink into your knees. Press your buns back, look down for your big toes, sitting deeply in your chair. Elbows come to goalpost, and I want to open my chest, but not my belly. So it doesn't look like this. It's just an opening across the chest. Think about lifting from your back ribs to keep our bellies tight and our low back safe. Stay in your chair. Close your forearms and round the upper back. Little cat-cow here. Opening, breathing in. Exhale, breathing out. One more like that. Stay low and lower an inch if possible. Belly in, crunch, squeeze, press palms together with everything you've got. Regular chair pose, arms wherever you're feeling great today, whether that's over your heart or down on your thighs, out to the sides. Everything feels good, right? Experiment. Right heel lifts, left heel lifts. Alternating a little pull here. Squeeze up, hug your calves into your shin bones. Squeeze in. Good. Soften facial muscles. We have a lot going on down low, so try to let go where you can. Fingers. Last one each side. I'm gonna do a little bit of balancing here and there today. Lift your heels, balancing chair, stay strong. One more big breath in. Can you stand up with your heels lifted? Breathe in. Let your heels melt to the earth slowly if possible. Beautiful. Arms fall slowly forward, fold again. Big bent knees to feel great. Scoot your fingertips back in line with toes or beyond to relax our shoulders. Halfway lift, fingertips can hover and dangle. Find our shins. Try to shimmy tension out of your back. Long top of head to tail. Long shoulders to sits bones. Release your breath, fold again. Right leg takes a big lunge back. Now in this lunge, lower your back knee and just scoot around again. Find your way through your lunge. You can let your shin and top of foot relax. When you feel pretty good, settle in and twist the left arm skyward. Lightness on the bottom hand today. Okay, so instead of dumping in, we're gonna try to elevate up and away. We can get really strong in all of our positions by squeezing inner thighs together like scissors, front hip towards right toe. Then you feel lighter, right? Let's switch sides. Left arm comes down wherever it feels good. Do the same. Squeeze the inner thighs together and lighten up the left hand. Can you play with just a finger? Can you hover? That feels great. Top arm comes down. Shift back to half split. Toes rise or stay plugged in. Somewhere in between, whatever feels good on your left leg. Try that sway again. Come inside right big toe. Side bodies are lengthening as we inhale. Soften your left knee. Come outside left pinky toe. Lots of breath. Shift back forward. We can drag the back leg in. We can elevate knee and kind of like step it in, little hops, or we can fly high to the sky, release and refold. Rising up slowly, my friends, a little sway. A hinge at your hips to rise with a flat back, any way that you love to come to standing. Extended mountain pose. Exhale to forward fold. Halfway lift. Let your fingertips come back towards your heels. Relax your shoulders. Release back to fold and step your left leg back. Once you get comfy, you wiggle in a little bit. Drop back knee. Maybe shin and top of foot too, and then give a little swing and sway. Ask your hips if they're willing to open up for you this morning. Nice. Start that engagement, thigh to thigh, squeezing front hip towards back toe. Left arm lightly falls, right arm reaches up, closing this twist, belly towards thigh. Lighter if possible on the left hand. Top arm floats down like a big windmill here. Left arm rises. Eyes will always look wherever your neck feels long, spacious, and free. Top arm floats to earth. Shift your hips towards left heel, right on back. Half split. And let's see if we can find the full right side and the full left side. So give a little swing. Ooh, that feels nice, right? Little swing like your tail is slowly wagging. Soften your right knee. Little snap, crackle, pop going on in anybody's knees or hips. Mine are, and creating space there. Hands come inside right big toe. Let's try to really pull back, squared towards hip if the toe is elevated. Long in side bodies, light in fingertips. If they're getting tired, you're welcome to use your fists. Sweep on around to the other side. Stay light, stay lifted. And anytime you want to get a little motion in your ocean, go ahead and sway. Stillness might feel great for a moment. Right back on forward. Crawl forward, and however you can get your back leg in. Might be a little lift to the sky and a fall into fold. Trying to fold a bit deeper each time. Completely releasing crown of head to the floor. Shake your head no before we rise. You have no time for neck tension today. Shake it a soft yes. Ready to move on and add on, but you have to really slowly rise here, yogis, so you don't get dizzy after all that shaking. We have no time to rush, so take your time on the climb. Nice. Inhale, arms rise. Add a little bit extra balance in. Right heel rises, or the toes, or the whole knee. Yeah, lift up. Whatever feels great. And if you can grab something, even if it's under your thigh, we're just going to move a little bit. Left arm comes out wherever you think that would feel good for a counterbalance. Try to do all of the movements here. And if it's just your heel, you can kind of like wiggle your hips. You just want to wake up our hip flexor. Find some control and stability. Pause wherever you are and send this leg back to lunge as slowly as you can. Bend your left knee. Push back. At least 3 seconds here, yogis. Arms might want to come like airplane wings for balance. Into heart center. Last second land when you're ready. Inhale, arms rise. Beautiful. Kneeling lunge is still going to be an option whenever you need it. Take a big tip to the left side. Hold your right wrist. Lift up some more, and all the way over. Too much? Use your bottom hand to help you. We can rest on our thigh. We can hold it out to the side. Do what helps you. And if you're still real wobbly, wiggle your front foot out for a wider base. Remember our bellies, guys. In, back ribs lifting as much as front ribs. Last breath. Rise to sky. Float down over front foot and straighten front leg for a wide pyramid pose. Can we get that scissoring action going on? Sway your hips side to side. Find the stretch on your left back of leg. And then strongly engage inner thigh to inner thigh. Squeeze left hip back to right big toe. My friends, come out of your turtle shell. Lengthen the top of your head. Great place for props to build this very low built floor up higher for our support. One more big breath. Back leg steps in. Bend front leg. If we need to drag it, we do. Get it up any way possible. From your fold, find a new way to rise. I like to pretend I have an elephant trunk, so I palm together and then swing, or like a tick-tock. Swing side to side, slowly. When it feels right, reach your arms all the way up, extended mountain pose. Where are we going next? Left heel, toes, or knee. And if you're lifting from your knee, lift from the inner thigh so we don't have our hips cocked out. Really square your hips as you lift. Play with your toes, your ankle. Grab a hold. Let's move a little bit or a whole lot. Hard in the morning to balance, so maybe you need to hold the wall or the chair cushion or the arm of a chair, whatever works. Do all of the movements, anything that feels good. When you think you have a bit more steadiness and balance, let's go for it. Arms rise if possible. Bend your right knee, and we're stepping back into lunge for at least 3 seconds of a land. Slowly, slowly, slowly. I didn't quite make 3 seconds. How did you do? Start to square up. Make sure ribs are evenly pulling up front and back. Belly is in. Length. Find ladder rungs in your ribs. Climb them. Lift up. Lift up. Great. Holding on to left wrist. Kneel anytime. Up, 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 and then tip to the right. Now remember our options. Any arm placement that makes you feel like you could swivel your heart higher to the sky. Still unsteady, take your front foot, heel toe out. Make it a bit wider. And if you're able to, your right eyeball is going to try to find your ceiling. All the way up there. Still breathing. Soften facial muscles, bring a slight smile to corners of mouth. Inhale, arms rise. Frame out your foot, float slowly though, and then lift your hips. You might need to adjust, walk in a little bit, but we're in a wide pyramid pose. Take a second to really find your posture. We don't have to sit and lock it in right away. We can sway. Just be loving and compassionate to your body. See how it feels. And then when you're like, okay, that's a good stretch, start pulling right sits bone back towards left big toe. If this is too much, stay with our first option, which was our half split. Breathing into sensations we're noticing in our right cheek, all down the back of our right leg. Softer on right fingertips, come out longer through side bodies. Rebend into lunge. Back leg comes in softly, landing with control. Give yourself a hug. If possible, wrap forearms around the backs of your legs. We can always hold on to our mat. We can reach back, airplane arms, whatever feels good for a deeper fold. Crown fully to the floor. Get upside down and shake off some tension. Slowly, eyes looking forward. Real slow rise so we're not getting dizzy. Bend knees as much as necessary. Find your favorite way. Lift up. Okay, one more round of balances. Are you ready? Arms rise high, belly in. Right knee rises, or just your heel, guys. We're gonna make a big arc out to the right side, so I'll show you before you go. As soon as you can, you're gonna arc out, 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 really funky and weird. Right hands are wherever I need them to land slowly into lunge behind me. Slowly, see how wiggly it gets? Okay, so I'll do it with you. We're standing, right, something has lifted, and if we wanna arc around the side, just try to open your hips and your belly as you do it. Softly landing, try to go with no noise, because then you know you used all your muscles. We made it, super. Right leg is back. Coming into warrior two, whether you want to do it kneeling or not, totally your option. So if I was in kneeling lunge, I would swing my right foot behind for kneeling warrior two. All right, come on out. Find whatever you love and then get like seaweed in your shoulders. Give yourself a little loosening. And then go really long, fingertip to fingertip. Anyone feel like they want to manually check out where we are? Enliven through the right arch and the whole inseam. Open through the groin, left knee out towards baby toes. Finding our way. Great. Right arm sweeps under the left here. We can either hug our bodies. We can come into single wrap, back of hands together, or double wrap the eagle arms. And wherever you are, lift your elbows. Sweep eye gaze and forearms towards your left toes. Stay breathing deep into your foundation. I know this is tough. We can come out if we need to. Ease back in when you can. One more big breath. A little twist through the upper body, my friends. Sweep your forearms or your elbows if you're hugging to the right. Sweep them to the left. Soften your right knee. Energize through the inseam. Breathe in. Breathe out. Two more like this. Trying to keep our elbows up at shoulder height if possible. Maybe a little above, depending on our flexibility. Awesome. Untangle your arms. Give yourself room to breathe. Find a regular warrior two. Turn back toes in, windmill, hands down. We're stepping forward again. Has anyone noticed what we haven't done yet? It starts with a C, chaturanga. So we'll get there in a moment. Take a hold of your legs. Get a little deeper fold if possible. Rise when you're ready. No rush here, my friends. We have plenty of time. Rise. Feel good wherever you are. Take a second to enjoy it. Left heel, toes, or knee. Making a huge arc around the corner, as big as you can make it, to land back into lunge. Ooh, if you're really off balance, eyes to the floor is a great place to be. Slowly, slowly, trying to land strong with no noise, and then find all of the length, all of the strength, back body lifting as much as front. When you're ready, warrior two, landing down and just adjusting to it. I love a good manual check because sometimes our mental picture is different than what our bodies are actually doing. So feel openness, press right knee out, feel lift up in the thigh, softening, energized arches. Loosen, then lengthen. Feels so good, doesn't it? Left arm comes under. And if you just want to hold a little eagle here or a little eagle with a wrap, go for it. If possible, rolling around the corner to the right side, elbows rising, belly stays in check, ribs long. Find softness through our facial muscles. When we get wrapped up tight in our arms here and strong in our legs, we can start to grip on the facial muscles. Noticing a step one, and then allowing the release if it can come. Jaw gets heavy, bottom jaw drops real heavy from top. Eyes soften. Start a little spin around the corner. Elbows go to the left. Eye gaze, if it follows, great, that'll help us. To the right. And then soften some more as we're breathing deeply here. Corners of eyes, in between eyebrows. We only have two more. That little smile is the only tension we want to keep on our face. All the rest. Cheeks are heavy, chin relaxed. Disentangle your arms. Ooh, they might be tired, so let them come out and just soak it up for a second. When you're ready, spin the back heel in, up, arms frame the front foot, and we're finding down dog. And get there anyway. Back knee could fall, table, child, then a dog, or we can just step right back into it. All right. Feeling okay in your dog? Give a little wiggle. We've been here before, so hopefully it feels better than the last time. So when you are ready, come forward into plank, slowly like a wave, a lazy wave. Knees down if it feels better. Chest starts to float towards elbows. Chest is open. Pause for a second. And then find the earth, yogis. Come to fingertips. We're going to do a little iguana. Take the tops of your feet flat and engage your toenails to press down. Enliven knees, enliven thighs. Get energized as you push tops of feet down. Take hands a little wider with your elbows spinning towards the sky. Tuck your chin to your chest, lengthen the top of your head, and then start to rise up from the back of your neck. Chin is tucked. Like there's a mirror you could fog under your nose. Release and hover. 3 more like that. Big, I like an exhalation to rise. Some people like to float up on the inhalation, so you choose. We have 2 more. Try to unclench your butt cheeks, but really press down. Enliven the toes again. Think about sending tailbone long towards heels. Next one, ladies, stay up. Doesn't matter how high, we're going for length always. And then try to hover your fingertips. Continue breathing, most importantly. Start to pulse elbows back towards your spine. Give it a kiss. Like the tip of your angel wings are just gonna squeeze in there. A little smooch. We have 3 more. Send the legs longer. Toes push down. Last big squeeze. Hold back, tuck chin, no tension in neck. Jaw is free. Release to the earth. Take a break if you need it. Fold your hands. Look one way or the other. If you're feeling great and you want to move on, meet me in child's pose. Everyone pulling back to child's when you're ready. Tuck toes and find your dog. Just as we started, yogis, heels rise and that awkward little tiptoe walk. But each time, lift your thigh bone up into your hip. Lift up into your hip. Belly in. Lift. In. Forward fold. Soften knees as much as necessary. Rise to sky. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release the arms at the side. Beautiful job. Okay, let's take a tip over to the left and a tip over to the right. Heels are still down. We're just shifting our weight. And you can continue like this, or tip left and lift your right leg. Pull it high into thigh. Switch. Softly land. High into thigh. Let's do the same thing with the arms floating out. And we're going to lift the right leg as much as we can and pause. Woo. Find your balance. Star pose. The line, top to bottom, the line diagonally. Find a beautiful star, widen up. Do whatever feels great with your palms, your eyes, your toes. Stay or find falling star, tipping more to the left. I want to feel my outer hip engage. Ooh, right there. And then we widen again. We try to pause. Eyes down if you're really topsy-turvy today. Eyes rise all the way to sky. Right leg crosses over, eagle pose legs. My right toes can stay right on the floor. Arms are elevating, and we're clasping behind low back, right thumb on top. Finding an eagle with a single wrap or right toes around calf for the double. Now, as we pull knuckles towards the floor behind us, belly stays in, front ribs towards the hips, back ribs lifting. So we feel length and not a splaying open, right? No trouble in the low back. We're gonna fold. Take it to a little sleeping eagle and then rise again. So when you're ready, here comes the tricky stuff. Chest towards the thighs. Rise back up, inhale. Great. Wiggle through the left toes, liberate your facial muscles. Find freedom in parts that don't need to be tight. 2 more like this. Peel shoulder blades together, chest open and collarbones wider. Last one. Ooh, good job. I know that was a lot. So lift up through your right knee, lift your arms to the sky, let it go, and just melt whatever you need. A little shimmy, a little shake, a little rub if something's really tight, or a roll over your left toes that did all that hard work. Okay, let's get it going again. Arms down, tip to the right, tip to the left, arms rise. Lift your left foot, but remember that action of whoosh, up and in, femur bone up into hip socket like a plug. Plug in your socket, yep. And then tip to the right, lift your left leg. Open wide, find some lines, some beautiful diagonal lines. Right fingers, left toes or heel. Left fingers, right toes, straight up and down. Now, am I leaning back or lifting long through my sides? Lift from your back ribs, lengthen out to that right side. Stay or find falling star, tipping over. Ooh, feel the right outer hip engage. Pause, breathe. Free up through your right toes, give a little tiny wiggle. Coming out when you're ready, arms rising. Eagle pose, left toes. Cross them over, tap the floor, or a big one. Left thumb on top. Why don't you get your wiggles out? Clasp behind low back and chase the floor with an engaged belly. All right, can you sit any lower before we begin? Feeling strong? Squeeze inner thighs together. That strong scissor will help us stay balanced. Strong navel to spine through breath work will help us. Forward fold when you're ready. I like to breathe in to lower and breathe out to rise. If the clasped hands hurt your elbows, bend your elbows and hold your forearms behind your low back. Make it a little softer. If all of the above is just not working, anywhere else your hands would like to be. Free face. When it gets tough here, we tend to clamp up. Let it go. We only have one more balance challenge. We have to untangle, rise to sky, last left heel, knee, toe lift, whatever you can. And then celebrate. Good job. Nice work. Shake out your right leg. Do all the things that feel good. Arms rise again. To the mat we go, yogis, and stay in there. Bring your hands down, but step your feet out to any squat that works for you. Could be a power squat, arms wherever, or a yogi squat. And if it feels good down here, but you're like, I kind of want to relax, get some stuff under your buns. You could sit right here and relax. That way when you add on, it's more beautiful, less stressful, whatever feels good. Okay, once again, coming out of our turtle shell, and then we're actually gonna go in it. So I wanna get really long in my sides. And if I'm in yogi squat, I take my fingertips, my pinkies towards the floor, and slide them forward to find that cat round, or like I've come into a turtle shell. If I'm in power squat, I come from my squatting posture, and wherever my hands are, they land, or my forearms or elbows land, and I puff up into my turtle shell. Create all that beautiful opening on your back body. Again, sensing like a basket weaving whisper breath coming all through. your spinal column, your ribs, all the way down through the tailbone and sits bones, cleaning, polishing, removing any blockages. One more big breath in. Release. Coming back up into squat, and we're finding the floor however you can. So if you want to, one hand in front, one hand in back, buns down. If that's just not gonna work, you're welcome to just come to knees, roll around, find your way into a tailbone-free seated boat. So I scooch my buns so that there's nothing stuck under sits bones and tailbones, or gently remove the tissue. Lean back a little bit, so really lift chest, belly towards thighs. Find a motion more towards the front of sits bones as opposed to the back. Yes? Cool. Lift toes, send fingers out longer. Bring shins parallel to the earth if possible, and sweep fingertips forward. I didn't have to go there, right? I could stay right here. All right, guys, we're gonna take a little swivel. So if everything's on the ground, you're gonna tap left toes in and out, finding your hip flexors. If you're here up in low boat, you're gonna swivel out to the side. It may just be a little one. Breathe in, breathe out. Stay strong. And remember, we're pressing our bellies towards our thighs. If I need to, I can come back on forearms. Again, chest lifted, belly towards thighs. We have 4 more. Not a full rest, but we're gonna take a break. Hug the backs of your thighs and crunch into a little ball. If you do need a full break, toes would touch down and you could wrap into a little ball here. Try to stay up and engaged. One more set of boats, but we're gonna be like can-can dancers, so it'll be fun. And then we'll hit the earth for our core work down there. Ready to go? I'm ready if you're ready. Arms back out where you take one of the options we just did and can the toes to touch the mat. Belly in, lift your chest. Don't forget to breathe. Smile a little bit. I mean, have you ever been a can-can dancer before? This is your moment. We have 4 more. 3. Last 2. Big breath in, stronger than ever before. Hold your boat. Slowly rock down fully to your backs. Grab on if you need to. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Land on the earth. Great job, guys. All right. Do yourself a favor and stretch out as long as you can. Reach overhead. Point your toes. Let your belly open and stretch out. Hands softly by sides, palms up. I like them at about airplane wing height. Heels to buns and a soft spread. Lift your buns. Start to sway like a hammock in the breeze. Lift a little more. Not 100% here, just to open our bellies and get out that tension so we can go one more time in core work today. Think about squeezing a beach ball between your knees. Lift up through your heels, get a little more length in your low back, tailbone towards backs of knees. Maybe still a breeze in your hammock, one more breath. All right, we have a big challenge coming, so I want you to tell yourself right now, I am strong and I can do this. 1 vertebrae at a time, release from bridge. Give yourself a hug, repeat that mantra. I am strong and I can do this. Toes to sky, fingers to sky. If you need to rest your head and neck, you do. Also, we can take fingertips to temples for a little support. You choose a U crunch. Tailbone lifts. Shoulder blades lift like I could sweep a magic wand under each part. Legs lower just to the point where we feel our low backs down. Belly in like I flattened against the floor. Arms reach overhead, elbows to ears if possible. Breathing, right back up. U crunch, lift tailbone, lift shoulder blades. 3 more just like that. Legs, right to the precipice. Like where you're about to jump off that cliff and be like boom and belly flies up, but you don't. Stay strong. Elbows by ears. Reverse. Arms, legs, U crunch. Yes, you can take a break if you need it. We have 2 more though. Come back when you can. Legs, right to the edge. A little past comfort, a little past safety. Arms, still breathing, yes. Reverse, arms, legs, U crunch. Do you need to rest? Head and neck, go for it. U crunch again. Bigger, my friends. Last set, legs. Arms. Arms. Still breathing. Legs. Big U crunch. Hug your body, give it all the love it needs, and then slowly rest your head and neck. Nice. Let feet fall, arms fall. Steeple knees together with feet wide, or soles of feet together with knees wide. Look over your left shoulder, just let your head rest in that direction. Try to lengthen out the back of your neck. Pull the top of your head further away from tail. You did a really good job, my friends. Way to hang in there through that strong core work. Eyes to center. Take eyes over to the right. Let your neck be heavy. And then pull away again. See if we can find any more length. Back into the center. Close knees or close feet if you were in steeple. Take legs high to sky. No more scary U crunches, don't worry. Flex toes, point toes. Do some circles, scrunch toes, and then flare them open. Just give yourself some freedom in your feet and toes. Grab onto somewhere on the backs of your legs. Try to help them pull a bit forward. At the same time, lengthening tailbone, widening pelvic bowl, ribs, shoulder blades, like pancake batter on the backside. Guiding toes towards nose. Any way your feet are happy. Sliding knees down by ribs, holding on to inner or outer feet. We can also hug onto the backs of our legs for a happy baby. Really wide, like pancake batter on your back. Feel yourself melting in, surrendering. If you have grip on the outside of your feet, you get the bonus because you have a little thumb massage for your toes. Feels so nice. We can play with everting and inverting our ankles, see how that changes things. Closing knees and rehugging, but then rocking side to side. If you want to give your belly space and hug knees to armpits as you rock, go for it. Taking knees together, crossing either right ankle over left or right knee over left, tapping toes, scooting hips to the right, and then allowing knees to fall to the left side. If the crisscross is too intense, just undo, rest heavily here. Flatten out the shoulder girdle, really pressing right side down, and look to your right again. Don't forget to lengthen top of head away from tail. A little extra could be left hand, somewhere pressing on your right leg or even extending your right leg. And breathing where we're feeling sensation down through the right side body, lower back, especially on the right side. Breathe down through your tailbone like you're electrifying all those muscles, tendons, ligaments, and nerves. Bring in new energy. Release anything that's not serving us. Eyes back to ceiling. If legs were extended, you're welcome to rise from there, but I recommend rebending. And if your back is really sensitive, you can roll to the fetal position and then roll back to the center as one little unit. But get your knees back up. Uncross them and bring your buns back under your shoulders. Let's recross the other way. Left ankle or knee over right. Toes tap, hips scoot left. Shoulder girdle spreads wide, neck lengthens, our knees fall to the right. I'm able to breathe here, softly and gently. If it's feeling really intense, I'm taking my breath away, uncross your legs. Eye gaze softly falling to the left. If we're still unsupported, even if we've uncrossed our legs, you're always welcome to put props under knees, in between knees, wherever you need it to get really cozy. A little more, right hand rests somewhere on the left leg, or the left leg can extend, or both. Loving on all our internal organs with this beautiful twist. So breathing not just through your backside and the left outer thigh that we can really feel, but into your bellies. See if you can breathe a bit deeper before we release down into the floor of your pelvic bowl, right to the tip of your tailbone. Eyes come back to sky. Remember our little trick of rebending knee and turning to fetal position to roll up if your back is sensitive. Otherwise, come back to center, square hips, and find somewhere that you can get cozy enough to stay for 5 to 10 breaths, finishing our practice with a little bit of relaxation. Steeple knees, corpse pose, extremities away from our midsection. Tiny inversion, a really beautiful one at the end of practice, a waterfall with something under your buns if it feels more comfy. Feel free to find fetal or seated. And take the time here to marinate, soaking up all the good you just did for your bodies. Moving your muscles, your tendons, your ligaments into more of a honeyed state after we got them really strong and long. Breathing just a bit more I can't talk this morning. A bit more freely, let's put it that way. And remembering our intention that we started with today. It may really resonate with you now after our practice. I am flexible and flowing. I am open to the new and changing. Every moment presents a wonderful new opportunity to become more of who I am. I flow with life easily and effortlessly. Taking a minute here in silence to nourish your body with your breath, scan through. See if there's any areas of tightness that we need to revisit, breath upon breath, offering it the invitation to release. And I definitely encourage you to stay as long as your schedule allows this morning. If you can take 5 to 10 more deep breaths, good job. I do want to honor your time though. So for those of us that need to get on with our day, we're just going to slowly bring some awareness back into our bodies, refocusing on our breath, feeling clothing against skin, feeling our supports pressing in. Notice temperature, texture. Notice any smells or any tastes, coffee, toothpaste, any products that are on your body or in your hair, maybe any oils or incense that you had burning in your home. Light behind eyelids if your eyes are still closed. If you have a softly open gaze, textures, colors, brightness, lightness. And then beginning to rehear, not just the sound of our own beautiful breaths, but all that is going on in our home, our environments, all the things around us. Once you've invited your senses back, slowly bringing movement back into anything that feels wiggleable, rewarm it back up a little bit, and maybe your neck needs a little roll or a look over shoulders. And let's gather ourselves back up as we started. But instead of doing it habitually, maybe recross the opposite way or come to a kneeling, come to a bound angle pose, anything that feels great. Thinking of that diamond breath from the tip of our nose to just under our navel, and to the furthest part of each side rib. Let's take 3 more really invigorating breaths in, but inflating our diamond in every direction and all in between. Breathing in north, south, east, west, all of the spots, big and spacious. Out with a sigh or a gentle exhalation through nostrils. May all beings everywhere be happy and free, and the thoughts, the words, the actions of my own life contribute in some way to the happiness and this freedom for all. At the bottom of that final breath, bring your hands to a little palm and pressing position at your heart center. Rise your heart up into it. Take a chin tuck, a bow to your practice. Congratulations on committing to your self-care. Good job for taking care of yourself. And I hope that you feel so free after class that you can just float right on and out of your yoga space. My friends, the light in me honors, acknowledges, and is so grateful to have spent that hour with the light that is each and every one of you. Namaste until we meet again.